Hey, this is a video on graphing. So this is just an introduction to graphing. Okay, so if we want to make a graph, we have what's called an x-axis. So this we call x, and this vertical one up here, we call that the y-axis. So I'll write it out. This is the x-axis, and this one is called the y-axis. And we don't normally write numbers on it, but you can. So on the x-axis, 0 is in the middle, and then to the right it goes up by 1, positives, and to the left it goes into the negative numbers. And then on our y-axis, I'm just going to change colors, it starts at 0, and then it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and when you go down, you go negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. And if we want to plot a point on our graph, so you can actually plot what's called a coordinate. So we can say we can plot a point, and this word point, you can also say the word coordinate. They mean the same thing. So point or coordinate, it's just when you put a spot, a dot, or a point on the graph. And how they're written is, they're written with their x coordinate first, and then the y. So if I put a point like 2, 4, you know the first number is the x-axis, and the second number is the y-axis. So you find out where 2 is on the x-axis, 4 is on the y-axis, and you trace them until they meet each other. And that's where the point actually goes, right there. I could plot the point -3, -5. So now I find the point -3 and -5, and I find out where those 2 points meet, and that's where my point goes. Let's say I wanted to plot the point 5, -2. So I go over 5 on the x-axis and then down 2 for the y-axis, and I put it right there. Now this is the one we had trouble with in class. What if we wanted to plot the point 0, -3? Okay, so 0 on the x-axis is actually right in the middle of the graph. And so we find 0, so that's right there. But then we also have to go down 3 on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3. So that point would be right here. Okay, so that's how we plot points. Next, sometimes points are organized in a table. This is called a table of values. So it's got an x and a y, and it just lists the points. So instead of writing them in brackets like this, they get written in a table, like 0, 1, 2, 3, maybe it's like 2, 5, 8, 11. And what that really means is this If x is 0 and y is 2, it just means it's a coordinate or a point, 0, 2. Just like this one right here just means the point 1, 5. It's just another way, a different way to write it. So we could graph them if they'll fit. So the point 0, 2, this is x, this is y. So 0 on the x-axis and then up 2 on the y-axis. Go right there. Then we plot this point, 1, 5. 1 on the x-axis, up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to run out of space. 2, 8. I have to make my graph go up more. Okay, so 2, 8. So over 2, and then up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the last one, 3, 11. So over 3, and then up 11. And these points actually join together to make a straight line. If you connected them together, they actually made a line. And we call straight lines, we call them linear. Okay, so we learned this is a table of values. We also learned the name, we call these points on the graph, or they're also called coordinates. And we learned about the x and the y-axis. And that's our introduction to graphing.